Welcome, everyone. My name is Deidre Norton. I'm a platinum consultant with Archer and Evolution Travel. I've been with the company for about going on, actually, it was 3 years yesterday. So we're going to get started today with the training on how to book for beginners and VAX. So what we're going to do, excuse me, not VAX, Vacation Express. Yikes. Um, you need to be registered, of course, with the Vacation Express, and the new policy for registering with Vacation Express is going to be you have to use a supplier request form. So obviously, you would just go to your VAX portal, vacation. Oh, well, I'm saying that today, Vacation Express portal, if you're already registered, and it's really pretty simple. Has a lot of different tabs, but today we're just going to basically go through really quick on how to put a package together. So you would come over to the tab and you would hit a new booking, and you can do packages, hotel only or air only in here. So we're going to do a package today. We're going to go from Atlanta to Aruba. We've chosen our dates of May 16th through May 22nd, and we're going to do 3 rooms with 2 adults each. So this is an actual quote that I'm doing for some clients of mine for a trip that the family's given away at Christmas. And then you basically can use your filters. If you already know your hotel name, you can put it here. You can choose your airlines if you want to filter it out. I always exclude basic because that's like the lowest bottom air that you could do. And then I always do direct nonstop if possible. So then we're going to hit next. It's going to take a little bit of time to pull this up. And it's telling me that there is none available, which is not true because I just looked it up. So let's log out, log back in really quick, and we'll try this again. So we're going to go Atlanta. Let's do Cancun. We'll do adults only. We're going to choose May 16th through May 22nd for 5 nights. We're just going to choose 1 room right here, but you can choose up to 4 rooms in Vacation Express for 2 adults. Again, the hotel name, airline, you can filter out, and then we're just going to click continue. Gonna take a minute. Runs a little slow. All right, so then here what you see, it pulls up flights. So if you want to change the flights, if these don't look good to you, you can go in here and you can do more options. It's going to pull up all of your flight packages that you can pick from. So if you wanted to change the times, you would just scroll. You can see where it says same price. So all of these flights would be the same. There would be no upgrade. I'm trying to scroll. Let's see. I'm going to scroll really quick, so watch your eyes. Then you see when you get into some of these flights where it says increased, so it would change the fare to additional $34 per person. But we're just going to stick with the flights that we have. But this is just to show you where you can look for different flight times if you need to. So we're going to keep our selected options. So we're going to fly out on the 16th at 7:15 a.m. Aeromexico by Delta. Returning on May 22nd on Aeromexico. And then here below, you're going to see all of your available rooms. All right. So this is adult onlys, which is what we chose. And you can see by the AO, AI, of course, means all inclusive. Your dollar sign means that you're going to get 20% commission as opposed to your typical 17%, I think it is in Vacation Express. So then you could just kind of scroll through and you could look for some different resorts. I always recommend doing research on your resorts if you're not familiar with them. We are going to choose Rio Las Americas right here. This is a pretty good one. Live Aqua's good. So then what we're going to do is we're going to choose view room and rates. This is going to give you all of your room categories. So junior suite ocean view, a regular suite, or a suite with a jacuzzi. Okay, so we're just going to stick with your junior suite all inclusive, which was what we have picked. And then you're going to click select. So we have 6 nights, 2 adults in a junior suite. We know that our dates are correct. This includes up to 44% off. So you could click on it. So this is giving you discounted rates from travel from December 24th, 2025 through December 23rd, 2026. So this is a pretty good deal right here. You also can click here to view information about the resort. You can see photos, which are nice. So if you were trying to put together a proposal or an itinerary and a document like in Canva, or if you have your own platform, Google Docs, you could take your photos and save them to your photo roll right here, which is nice. But this just kind of gives you an idea of what the resort looks like. I actually just returned from here um, about 3 weeks ago, so I loved this resort. Kind of tells you what it's about. It's got all your different room types. And my computer is going to be super slow today. So it tells you what the all-inclusive includes. You can click on the different tabs. It'll tell you about the bars, the restaurants, activities. So it has 7 restaurants. This resort's great for all adult. All right, so then here what we have is, you see our deposit of $637 per person. Excuse me, and then our final payment's due April 16th, 2026. Now, if you had someone that maybe didn't have the full amount for the deposit at 637 per person, because that's going to be right at let's see. I'm not quick today with my math. It's going to be 1274 for 2 people for a deposit. So maybe they need a lesser deposit, right? You can go down here, and this is what I love about Vacation Express. It's got reduced deposit plan. So for $25 per person more, you can add the reduced deposit. It's going to add $50 to the total price, but I want to show you what it does to the deposit. Brings it down to $300 a person. So as opposed to the 1274, you would only have to have a $600 deposit. So that may work for your, clients a little better. You just have to kind of find out what their budget is, what kind of deposits they can afford to put down, etc. So then you see this here. So we have round trip private transfers. What I love about Vacation Express, they always include your round trip private transfers, which is super nice. They just started this about 8 months ago. I'm a huge Vacation Express fan. And if you look right here, if you wanted to change it to share transfers, if you were trying to stay super budget friendly for someone, you could change it and do the $62. But to be honest, for another $40 to get private transfers, it's well worth it. But you could change this option. So then if you were going to do that, you would just need to remove it and then add your shared transfer. Okay. Now, you see the total package price is $3,549. Your commission amount would be $349.80. What I do like about Vacation Express, you can add some commission in here. So let's say you prepared a couple of quotes for them and they're asking for more, and I'm going to add an extra $200. Watch what it does to your commission. It will increase the price, so keep that in mind. So it's going to bring the price to $37.49, but it's going to give you your commission at $529 now. So we're going to remove that fee. And that brings us back down here. Now you have the option to add your insurance. And with Vacation Express, what I love about them is if you choose, this is important to remember, if you choose VPP, air and land, so you can kind of go through here and read the differences, but air and land mean it covers their air and their hotel portion of the package. They're going to get a future travel credit. But with this, if the booking is paid in full and they cancel, guess what happens? You're still going to get paid your commission, which I love. If you choose the VPP Plus, that's going to give them a full refund, and you only get a commission portion of what the insurance is. So you can see the difference. I always push for travel credit because if they get that trip paid in full and they have to cancel, you're still going to get paid your commissions, and your clients are going to still get their air and their land vouchers to use for future travel. But you can see the difference in the price. So if we wanted to add that at $238, we just click it to add it on. And when I do a package, I always include everything in it. And I tell my clients that insurance is included, but if they choose not to have it, that we can deduct it and the cost would be $238 less. If your clients decline travel protection, please get it in writing. I cannot stress that enough. So now our total price is $37.87. Our commission amount went up a little bit because we get paid on that insurance. But I want you to look what it did. It increased the deposit per person, which is okay. Because when you add insurance, insurance has got to be paid up front, so they include it in that deposit price. So as opposed to, I forget what we said our price was a while ago. So instead of the 637 per, let's see, for two, let's see, so that's 318.50. So it bumps it up to 419 per person, and that includes your insurance. Okay. So it's pretty simple. You can add excursions and stuff in here. I don't ever include that in any package prices. I always do those kind of things after I get my clients booking secured, because you've got so many different other suppliers that you can book excursions, tours, etc. in. And then if you were to want to save this itinerary, you would click save. I'll do that in a second. Hold it means that your clients are going to be ready to book within the next 24 hours, because if you click hold, it will hold that airfare so it doesn't go away. Or if you're ready to book it, you would just hit book it. So we're going to save the itinerary. Always when you're sending your clients a quote on anything, please add in your quote that prices and availability are subject to change until secured with a deposit or a payment. Because what's going to happen if you send a quote to someone with this price at $37.87 and it takes them maybe 2 or 3 days to make a decision on what they want to do, you've given them a couple of resorts, and they come back and you say, okay, we're ready to book. You've got to come back in and reshop it, because prices change hourly for air. Availability for hotels can change daily. I've seen it happen really quick. So just always include that. So if you click save that itinerary, it's going to create an actual booking number for you. So if I'm doing quotes, I just write down what supplier I'm in, what the quote is, and if it gives me a quote number. So you see booking number, so you'd want to save that. And then let's just see if you were ready to book this itinerary. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's taking a minute today. So it tells me my services are still available, so nothing has changed. And I've done this and came back 10 minutes later, and it will say that some of your services are no longer available and you have to go back in and reprice the whole thing. So that's how quick it can change. So then we're going to do is we're going to hit book itinerary. And we're not going to book it, obviously. So then what you need when you're ready to book from your clients, just so you know, is you have to have their names as they appear on their passports. You don't have to have any of this other information unless you just want to add it, because you can always go back in and add it, but this is just to get it secured. And then you have to have an email for each passenger. You can leave that blank if you want. I always just include my own email right here. And then you have to have their date of birth. That's required. So anything that has a red asterisk, you need that. So if you're just trying to get it secured, like I said, you do not have to enter an email. You do not have to enter a phone number at this time, which is going to keep my phone number in there, but that's okay. And that's all you need. To receive notifications directly from the airline, this is where I put my client's email in it. If you have any requests, one king bed, if it's a special celebration, air request, always put seats together, aisle and window, based on what your clients want. And then you click this and you would do agree, and that's going to generate it and turn it into an actual booking. Now, let's say we get out of here, you send it to your clients, it's a day or two later, and they're ready to book it. You come back in to your account, which I'm already logged in, and you would click on My Reservations, and any itineraries that you have already prepared. Like this is an actual booking for a client of mine. This is the quote. So this is the quote that we just did, the 3787, and here's our quote number. You just click the quote number or the reservation number, and it's going to pull it back up. And then you still have all your information. So if you want to go in and make any changes, if they want to pay more than the deposit, you could get rid of that reduced deposit plan. And that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? Let me see if I can get to the chat. Any questions on how that works? Does anybody want me to do another quick booking? So you register for Vacation Express now. You used to could go directly from the supplier portal. You have to use the supplier request form, and then Archer will get you approved. All right, we'll do another quick booking. It's pretty simple. When it comes to air, Heather, like for the notifications for the airlines, I do put their email, but for the quote to be sent or any information about the trip, I always send it to my own email and then I forward it. I don't typically ever put my clients' emails in it until the very end if they request it, because you just kind of want all that supplier information, any questions, any updates to come to you so that you can screen it before you forward it to your client. That's the easiest way to do that. I love Vacation Express. I book all the time with them. Yeah, your supplier request forms is going to be in the travel cafe under suppliers. All right, so we'll share again and I'll do another booking. So I'll log out just to show you. Once you're registered, you'll get credentials to log in. All right, then we're going to go to new booking. We're going to do Atlanta. We're going to do Cancun again, all adults. We're going to keep the same dates. So you can filter one room, and then we're going to click continue. This is probably one of the easier portals to use. Everything is so cut and dry, straightforward. They make it really easy for you. Their website is sometimes slow, which gets me super aggravated, especially when I'm trying to bounce around and get some quotes. All right, we're going to leave our flights the same. If you want to change your flights or you want different times, all you do is click here and you scroll through to find what you want. We're going to keep our selected flights to make it quick and simple today. And then, of course, you've got your adults only, which is what we requested. And of course, all inclusive. So let's do now. This is another one of my favorite ones, Breathless. This is a great one. Oh, Live Aqua is even a good one. Let's do Live Aqua. Been there too. So now you see how this resort has all these different room categories. Now, when you see this, it's going to be overwhelming, but you just want to read through each one so you know what the descriptions are. If you want to try to give your client a couple of different options, you are going to have to do a couple of different quotes. So just keep that in mind. But what I recommend for you to do is if you're wanting to learn all the different ways for the categories of these rooms, is just take this and copy it and just open a browser and go to the website of the resort. Okay. So here's your room options. And then this is going to allow you to really study the different rooms and the categories on what they have to offer. Okay. Always remember when you see ocean front, that means that you're going to face the ocean. If you see ocean view, that means you will see the ocean, but you may not have a full frontal view. So that's important to remember when you have resorts that offer different things. But here's where you can go and learn the different categories of the room so that you know what you want to book. So I've booked this resort so many times. I'm going to do a premium ocean front, king bed. Then you see the same thing if you wanted two double beds. All right, so we're going to choose this as our room option. And you can't pick different room options. See, I wish they would let you do that, but you can't. So here's the one we're going to do. This is booking in advance with 50% off. And we're going to hit select. It'll bring us to the breakdown. We have our flights, 6 nights. Again, you can click on the name of the resort. You can go through, get all your information there. Okay, so we have a total price of $44.53. We have private transfers. Again, you can change out the transfers if you want to. I always leave private transfers. There's nothing better than booking for a couple and having private transfers. It means you don't wait, you don't have to get on the bus with anybody else or nothing else. So we have a deposit of $637 due today. Our final payment will be due April 16th. They can make payments in here, so that's a great option. If you want to do that reduced deposit plan. So let's see this right here, $637 per person, and we're going to go add this insurance on. When you add that insurance, watch what it's going to do to the deposit per person. Not too bad. So $736 per person. If we wanted to do the reduced deposit plan, you could add it, and let's see what it takes it down to. Another nice thing about Vacation Express is you can always go back in and add insurance before the final payment's due. So if a final payment hasn't been done, I think, and they choose, I better back that up. I'm so used to adding insurance. I think it might be 10 days after the booking. I'd have to look into that again. So don't hold me to that. I always just include insurance, and most of my clients always take it. If they don't want insurance, I said it earlier for those of you that came on late. Get it in writing that they're declining it. It's going to be for your protection. So this brought it down to $399 per person. It includes the insurance. So let's take this back off. So $400 per person, and that reduced deposit plan adds $25 to the total price. So you're saving about 300 and something dollars, which is not bad per person. Okay. And then we have our commission. You can add additional commission if you want, as I said earlier, which is nice. It's going to increase the price by $100 and it's going to increase your commissions amount as well. So if you've got room to play with, you can do that. We're going to leave it as is. Total package price is $47.51. The commissions is $524. Never tell your clients what the net is, guys. If you do that, and that's what they're expecting to pay, you're not going to get paid your commission. This is minus your commissions. So the total amount with your commissions added in is $47.51. So if you were doing it for a friend or a family member or something, and you didn't want to get paid commission, then you could tell them this, and you're just not going to get paid anything. I don't recommend that. We do the work, we need to get paid. All right, and then you can hold it, you can book it, or you can save the itinerary. It will create you an actual booking number. Now you can go back in here and create a quote or a proposal, however, guys, you want to refer to it in Canva, or if you're doing it in a Google Doc or whatever, and you can copy and paste like a lot of information from here. Or you can click on documents and you can do invoice or client invoice. Travel documents are not going to be available yet. There's no schedule changes, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the client invoice. You're going to send it to yourself. Customer invoice with commission, because that's coming to you. If you want to be safe so that you don't make any mistakes, send it without. And you're going to send this to yourself. So it says lead passenger, no email address found. That's because we haven't put any information in yet, or we haven't entered it, right? So you could do email other, but you're not going to want to do that because you're not going to want to send that quote to that client before you're ready to put everything into place. So then you would just hit send. And it'll give you a notification that it's been sent. Okay. Now I'll go show you what that email is going to look like. Here it is. So then you can preview it. So then here's where you could take and copy and paste as well. Okay. So we see our total amount. There's no commission in here, so this is okay. You can send yourself an invoice with a commission on it just so you have it. And then there's all your information. And then you can put together a quote. All right, guys, I hope you got a lot out of that today. It's pretty simple. I love Vacation Express. It's very easy to navigate, very easy to book in, and I do love it. No, Heather, you can choose flights. I hit that drop down option on there. Let's just see if we can't go back in here. So now we can't go back in and change our flights because we've already created a quote. But really quick, if you wanted to do a new one, I'm going to do one really quick. We're going to stick with the same thing that we had. Here's where you can go and change your flight options. Vacation Express does have flight itineraries already put together, so it does require some scrolling. I don't really use a whole lot of their advanced features because they take so long to process and their website's always slow. That is one downfall of them, but I don't really worry about that too much.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen.
So here, Heather, is where you could, if you wanted to change these, you could click on more options. And then what you're going to have to do is scroll to see the different times. So like this one is 7:15, but it returns at 12:35. Here's another one at 1:55. And all of these class affairs, you just kind of have to look them up. If somebody's requesting first class, you're going to need to call in and tell them that that's what they need. They'll help you put a quote together, which is super nice. But here's where you're going to find all your flight options. And I scrolled really fast earlier because most all their flight itineraries stay the same. But I'm trying to see as you start getting into some different things, 8:15 to 1:55. So that changes the time. You're going to add $34 per person. So that's where you change the flights. All right, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed that today. It's really simple, straightforward, very easy. I will be recording and I'll drop it in the chats whenever it's done. Okay, so everyone have a wonderful afternoon and thank you all for joining me.